Hey guys, thank you for stopping by my channel, Cosmic Light Body. My name is Mark, and in this video I wanted to touch on something that I frequently come across in my spiritual coaching sessions regarding taking inspired action and how often this can become a trap of the ego. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, again, I really appreciate you stopping by. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to my channel, and hit the notification bell and you'll be notified the next time I release videos. Thank you. In my coaching sessions, I frequently encounter questions such as, I'm trying to find my purpose, I am trying to take inspired action, and for whatever reason it doesn't work out. And then I find that I'm at a loss and kind of sink back into like this funk. Okay, this is what I hear a lot. And I want to explain what's going on here. Inspired action, we read about this a lot online. You need to take inspired action. Well, what is inspired action? We have to make a distinction between what the ego thinks is inspired action and what your soul and your soul's purpose feels is inspired action. And if you look at it from the standpoint of a car, this is a good metaphor. So if we're low on gas in our car, let's say we're down to empty, and essentially our energy's running low, right? If we pull over and we stop at a gas station, we put a quarter tank in, we're gonna get back in and hit it and drive for a few miles, and then what's gonna happen? We're gonna run out of gas again, right? We're gonna have to pull over and fill it up again. If we choose to fill a quarter tank, we're not going to get very far. If we fill it up, we're going to have a lot more energy in the vehicle to keep us moving. And that's what's happening. The ego wants to feel some sort of purpose, some sort of momentum. And at the first sign of that idea, the ego wants to go out into the world and make it happen. And if we're not fully anchored in that feeling, the ego is going to misinterpret what's happening, okay? And it's going to default to programming. Okay, I have an idea. I have to go out into the world. I have to create this. And it's creating from a very limiting set of beliefs. And what's happening at that instant is that it's really cutting itself off from the soul, from our divine purpose. We're programmed to continually stay busy. And if we're not busy, we feel like we're failing, okay? We've heard this since we were young, right? You have to start something and you have to stick with it and see where it goes and continue putting energy into something. Otherwise, you're going to be deemed as a failure. And our soul has a different lesson in mind. I'm not saying that these types of situations where we're reactive, we'll get an idea and we'll go off half-cocked, so to speak, and force it is the wrong thing to do. But what it is a lesson. And a lot of times these are lessons, okay? And they're going to keep repeating themselves until we finally figure it out and get it. And the reason this keeps happening is because we are not anchoring fully the energy of our soul. We are not allowing it to flow through, okay? Why? Because we are not spending enough time in that alpha state, the brainwave state of that you get into through meditation and through breath work and that kind of thing. We are not fully anchoring and grounding our energy. So we're moving off into this arena of the mind without the backing or the anchored energy of our soul. So as we move off, the mind continues to build momentum, okay? It may experience resistance and feel that things aren't working out, and it's going to default back to its programming and say, okay, well, we're going to then have to shift directions and try this. And if that doesn't work out, we're going to shift and try that. And what it's doing is really closing itself off from your soul's energy. It's not returning to the fuel station, to the gas station to fill up. It's running on fumes. And the more it does that, the more resistance you're going to feel. And then what's going to come up? Feelings of failure, feelings of I don't have a purpose, and that kind of thing. So these are lessons, and I will guarantee to you that these are going to keep happening until you fully can ground and anchor your soul's energy. And the important thing to move past this programming is to realize that it is okay to just simply be. We don't have to be acting on every idea we have in the moment that we receive it. Okay? Because as we do that, and the ego deems it as a failure, we're reinforcing that trauma, because that's the paradigm of the limiting beliefs, right? This didn't work, you're a failure. We continue to reinforce that, and we're reinforcing it because we are continuing to pull ourselves out of our soul's energy. When we can learn to simply be, to simply sit, to do the work and anchor our soul's energy, to do our breath work and our meditation, to continually go back to that space and just be, we will allow these ideas to start to flow through us. Now, how do we know that these ideas are ones to act upon? Well, if our mind grabs onto an idea and says, wow, people out there are going to love this, this is going to make me money, this is what, my friends agree that this is something I need to be doing, that kind of thing. We are living externally, we're living in the ego. Okay, and that's a trap. That's a warning to you that you have not fully grounded and integrated this feeling of purpose in the moment. We need to continue to sit. And again, we hear a lot of times inspired action, but we also hear just be. And I feel like a lot of people, especially the ones that I talk to, have a hard time, have resistance to just being. And I assure you that is the key. When we start to receive these ideas, this inspired action, we need to sit and continue to allow this to integrate. We need to ground it. We need to follow the feeling. We don't need to run off half-cocked and act, okay? We continue to let this ground and percolate and grow and strengthen. And what this is doing, if we go back to the car metaphor, is essentially this is filling up our fuel tank. It's giving us sustainability. It's giving us the energy we need to continue to ground this new information. And there's going to come a point in time, and I guarantee this is going to happen to you, that by sitting with yourself and focusing just on grounding your energy and sitting with this feeling, you are going to start to feel like, I need to take action on this. But the action is not going to be driven by the ego, based on money, based on whatever. It's going to be based on creativity. I feel like I have to just create this without any regard to an expectation on how it's going to be received. Because again, that's the mind, that's the ego, okay? So we stay out of that. We just create with no expectation of any result. And when we create, we get back centered and we sit and we continue to sit with that feeling and we continue to do our work and we continue to ground and continue to move our energy. We release our energetic blockages. We dissolve our subconscious programming, and more will come forward. And as more comes forward, you're going to feel a greater drive to create. Again, we are here to create. And that is going to be in alignment with your purpose, okay? Because as you get this high frequency creativity out into the world, you're gonna see how people respond to that, and it takes the mind out of it, okay? Because the mind is creating based on an expectation of how people are going to perceive things. So it's at a lower frequency. When we do this and we ground, we are going to be creating from the highest frequency we have available to us in the moment, and it's going to get that light out. It's going to manifest out, and people are going to respond in ways you never thought were possible. So we're removing those expectations and beliefs by the ego. I've done videos on this before, on how the ego, anytime you have an expectation from the perspective of ego, you are limiting yourself. Okay? So I can't stress this point enough. It is okay to just be. It is okay to just sit. I know it's going to feel impatient. You're going to have these feelings of impatience. These are feelings that are being brought to your attention while you're just sitting. Your soul is pointing to this, showing you these limiting beliefs. We need to embrace them. Okay, we need to let the ego know that this is okay with our loving compassion, and pull it in and sit. Okay, and feel these feelings of impatience, but continue to do our work in that moment, our breath work and our meditating, our grounding, and dissolve these, okay? Because as we dissolve and integrate these, we are going to have more access, we are going to be more available for our soul's energy. And when we start bringing down these frequencies from our higher chakras, 10, 11, 12, we are going to start to access ideas that we never thought possible, because in the past we've run off before we've been given the opportunity to receive this. And it's going to feel right. It's going to feel right. We're not going to have those limiting beliefs. We're not going to be doing something based on an expectation of a response externally. We're going to just know deep in our heart, deep in our soul, that this is what we are here to create. And as we allow that to flow, you will start moving in the direction that you're ultimately seeking. Okay, so please, the next time you feel this impatience or this need to act, sit with these feelings and do the work and just be, and work on moving your soul's energy, and things will gradually start to open up for you. And as you integrate this, you are going to move off in the direction that you are here to move in. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave comments. I'd love to hear your experiences with this and how you guys feel. So again, thank you so much for stopping by.